fine.
I found
Well, have you I look.
what?
They oh, good.
Hey, stranger. I saw how you came out of the mountains. You can be glad you didn't come by here 3 weeks ago. We would have taken you for an escaped convict. And we made short work of those. You look completely done in. What do you want here?
I was attacked by bandits in the mountains.
Those filthy rabble. They were probably the same bastards who took one of our sheep last night. You had terrific luck. Most people don't get away alive.
Those bandits won't trouble you anymore.
Why? Are they dead?
They picked a fight with the wrong guy.
Thank Innos. Here, it isn't much, but I want you to have it. I'll tell the others about this.
I'm on my way to town.
The way you look, you'll have to bribe the guards to get in. And you have to know what they want to hear.
And that would be?
Well, for example, that you're from Lobart's farm and want to go to the smith in the city. But that won't do you any good. You don't look like a farmer.
I see. I need better equipment.
I can imagine. But I tell you right now, we don't have anything to give away. If you can pay for what you want, Lobart will sell you something. Otherwise, go to him and ask him if he has work for you.
Where can I find Lobart?
Well, on the farm, of course. The farm belongs to him. And don't try messing with him. He's thrashed a lot of tramps and thrown them off his farm. There's another of those scummy beasts. Well done! One dirty beast less!
Who do we have here? You're on your way to the city.
Maybe.
You look like a fugitive. All fugitives are headed for the city. You could even be a former convict for the mining colony. I don't care where you come from, but I believe I have an interesting offer for you.
What do you have to offer?
The way you look, the guards will never let you into the city. I can help you get into the city. I have here a small piece of paper with the royal seal and the governor's signature. A pass. With this scrap of paper in your pocket, you can run about as raggedly as you please, and the guards will leave you alone. Interested?
There must be a catch to this.
No, no catch. You will merely owe me a favor.
How will you get into town?
The guards know me. I will simply tell them that I have lost my pass.
Now, keep your paper.
I seem to have misjudged you, huh? Well, do you want something else? Can I interest you in my wares?
Show me your wares.
Take your pick.
Show me.
Take your pick.
I've got to go.
Suit yourself.
Hey,
Why are you hanging around on my land? Whose side are you on? The rebelling farmers or the king?
I'm for the peasants.
Ha! That damned warmonger Onar will drag us all into the grave. What do you think? How long will the paladins just stand by? After what Onar has done, the whole city is in an uproar.
What's going on here anyway?
Don't you know what's going on? Boy, where are you from? We're on the edge of a civil war. Up till now, all the farmers looked at the tribute to the city as fair taxation. But since the paladins have come to Corinthus, the city guards visit us more and more often. And little by little, they're taking everything. If it goes on like this, soon we won't have anything left for ourselves. Some farmers are starting to rebel. Onar was the first of them.
Tell me more about this Onar.
Onar is the biggest farmer here in the area. He is broken with the city. They say he's hired mercenaries to keep the city guard off his back. Can't blame him. In any case, no royal soldier dares to set foot on his farm anymore.
Who are those mercenaries that Onar hired?
I don't know much about the guys. Supposedly, a lot of them are former prisoners from the mining colony. Everybody knows what you can expect from them.
What about you? Whose side are you on? Peasants or king?
I'm too close to the city to really have a choice. But I'm glad about that. I wouldn't know how to decide. The king is bleeding us dry, and Onar sets his mercenaries on anyone who won't join him. And that's why most of the other farmers are still undecided, but sooner or later they'll have to choose one side or the other.
I'm looking for work.
I can't use another farmhand, but I could offer some work to a day laborer. Well, what I mean is, you can lend a hand in the field. And there are certainly a few other things to do around here. I could pay you with gold, or give you a few decent things to wear. The things are worth a fair bit. I can't give them to you for nothing, but I can sell them to you cheap if you work for me. By the looks of you, I should say, take the clothes. Anyway, the small turnip field next to the barn needs to be harvested.
All right.
Then hurry it up a bit before I change my mind.
Here are your turnips.
Hey, you're not all that worthless after all. Take them to my wife in the house and tell her to cook them.
What about my pay?
Well, I can give you 5 gold pieces. Or sell you the clothes cheaper. Well, what's it to be?
Make me a better price for the togs.
Good. I'll give them to you for 10 gold pieces less.
Have you got anything else for me to do?
I don't. But you can ask my wife or the boys in the fields. Maybe they need some help.
Hey! I've got a few turnips here for you.
Great. That should be enough to fatten those guys up. Since you're here anyway, I saw a traveling trader pass by here a few minutes ago. I think he stopped on his way to town. Go to him and see whether he's got a decent frying pan for me.
Give me the gold, and I'll go see the merchant for you.
Are you saying I can trust you? Just don't spend the money on booze, do you hear?
Here's your frying pan.
Fine, let's see then whether it's any good.
Can you give me something to eat?
Here, take this. You're a good lad.
And how goes the work?
Same as always. Lot to do, not enough money, and with a bit of bad luck, the orcs will come tomorrow and burn down our farm. The king's paladins have occupied the whole city, but I can hardly believe they'll move their butts out here when the orcs attack us.
Can I help you? I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about working in the fields?
What is there to know?
In that case, I think we're fine here. Thank you. If you want to work for Lobart as a day laborer, I can only warn you, he pays people like you really miserable.
He offered to sell me some clean clothes cheap if I helped out on the farm.
Well, I don't have anything for you to do, but you can bring me and the boys something to drink. Fetch me a bottle of wine, and I'll tell Lobart you were a real help to us.
Here's your wine.
I'd better not ask where you got it from, huh? Who cares? Thanks anyway. Lobart will only hear the best about you.
I'm headed for town.
And?
Is there anything interesting you can tell me about the city?
Nope. But Maleth goes to the city from time to time. Maybe he knows something. I mean, something that would interest you.
Is there any interesting news?
I could have sworn I saw an orc over there on the edge of the woods 2 days ago. Since then, I've kept at least one eye open at night.
I need some sensible clothes.
I can give you clean farmer's work clothes. Can you pay for them then?
How much for the work clothes?
Well, we'll see. You've worked the field for me. You helped my wife. Vino says you were a real help to him. And that's saying something. He doesn't usually hold with day laborers. Maleth said you chased the bandits off. The bastards have caused us a lot of trouble. Thanks to you, we're rid of them. 30 gold pieces. It's not gonna get any cheaper.
Give me the work clothes then.
There's a chest in my house where you'll find clean things. But don't even think about taking anything else without asking.
cut, you'll regret this. I'll get you! I'll get you! Hey, you're not quite as stupid as you look. You'll regret this. I'll get you! I'll get you! I'll get you! Now I've got you. I'll get you! Now I've got you.
Hey, not so fast. Strolling about alone out here is dangerous. Where do you come from?
From one of the farms.
A farmer, eh? Then you shouldn't be walking along these dangerous paths all by yourself. Who knows who might be lying in wait for you?
What's so dangerous out here?
Many things. For one thing, there's the bandits. They'd polish off a little wimp like you for breakfast. If the bandits don't catch you, then the wild animals in the forest or the mercenaries roaming around will take care of you. So first get yourself some decent armor before you go out. I bet you'll be yelling for my help after the next bend in the road.
Just assuming I would fall back on your help. How much would that cost me?
I am merely a humble servant of the king and would not enjoy fleecing a helpless little citizen of the realm. But you know, if you put it like that, I wouldn't object to a little financial backing to promote our future business relationship. 10 gold coins should do for starters. What do you think?
Why not? Here's your 10 coins.
Terrific. If you need my help, you know where to find me. But please do me a favor. Don't come to me with any trifles. I can't stand that, you hear?
Go away, don't tell me that. Someone's gonna...
I must be crazy. What are you doing here? Did you swim here? That's one way to get past the guards at the city gate.
Hey, Larish, you old scoundrel, how did you get here?
I was able to escape to the Valley of Mines just in time, together with Lee and some of the other boys. You remember Lee, don't you?
Of course I remember Lee.
I got out of the colony with him then, just after the barrier was destroyed. He and his boys are now on the farm of Onar, the landowner. He made a deal with the farmer. He and his boys defend the farm, and Onar feeds them in return.
Why aren't you with Lee and his mercenaries?
But I am, just not on the farm. You could say I'm our outpost in the city. We don't want the ship to sail without us. Why did you come to the city?
I must talk to the paladins by any means.
What do you want from them?
They've got a powerful amulet, the Eye of Innos. I must have it.
And you think they'll give it to you? You'll never get into the upper end of town.
I'll find a way somehow.
Sure. If you want to ingratiate yourself with the citizens or play errand boy for the militia.
Do I have a choice?
If I were you, I'd go to Onar's farm and talk to Lee. I'm sure we'll find a way to get you into the upper end of town.
Tell me more about the mercenaries.
Well, if you're as tough as you were back then, you shouldn't have any problems with them. Most of them are ruffians, and if you can't stand up to them, you won't get far. If you're squeamish, you don't have a chance of joining them.
What ship were you talking about?
It's on the open sea harbor, behind the cliffs. Lee and a few of his people really want to get away from here. But that could take a while.
Why?
You'd better ask Lee about that. If you meet him, he's got plans.
How do I find the landowner's farm?
I can take you there if you want. I've hung around here too long anyway. There's usually no militia here in the harbor, but I can't risk one of them getting suspicious.
Do you know why the paladins are here?
Nobody knows for sure. Lots of people think it's because of the orcs, but I think there's another reason. It probably has something to do with the old penal colony.
Okay, let's go.
Then let's go. Follow me.
It's not what I heard.
Halt!
Yes?
You look like a poor beggar. In this town, we have no use for people without money.
Someone's got to do the work. That's an open secret. That's terrible.
That's not what my husband
He
thinks.
can't keep anything to himself. That's an open secret.
He simply talks too much.
You can't rely on that.
That's not what I heard.
I don't believe it.
Halt! Are you one of the hands on Lobart's farm? I never seen you here.
I haven't been with Lobart for long.
What you want in the city?
I want to see the blacksmith to have some tools repaired.
Okay, fine. In you go then. And if you see Lobart, you can tell him he should feed his sheep well. We're coming back to him shortly.
It's really not my problem.
Halt, stranger. I am Lothar, paladin of the king and humble servant of
I'd have
Innos,
gone about it differently.
your lord. Our commander, Lord Hagen, has entrusted me with the task of explaining to all newcomers the new laws which apply to all inhabitants of the city.
Really didn't deserve that.
I have an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
The Honorable Lord Hagen is not receiving anyone. Lord Andre, the commander of the city guard, is responsible for all issues pertaining to the common folk.
So why won't they listen to me?
Listen, the city is threatened by dragons.
That can't be true. Another lunatic. We have enough unrest in the city as it is. And without some dimwit scaring people with fairy tales about dragons,
You pick that up.
I immediately locked up the last person who was here telling dragon tales and sent him to the Valley of Mines with the prison transport.
I've heard
So
of
mind your tongue. We can't use anyone here who spreads panic among the people.
Somebody already reported the dragons here?
Yes. The fellow's name was Diego. I think so, in any case. I warned him just like you. But the lunatic just wouldn't stop getting on my nerves.
I hardly know.
I have come to get the Eye of Innos.
The sacred Eye of
Tell
Innos.
me you didn't know that.
How do you know about that? You're not a member of the Order.
A magician told me about it.
I don't know what his motives were when he entrusted one of the secrets of our Order to you. But he certainly didn't mean for you to get your fingers on it.
But
I don't want to hear any more about it. First you start with fairy tales about dragons, and then this. Incredible.
Is it really true?
all right, explain the rules of the city to me.
First, the Honorable Paladin Lord Hagen resides in the upper quarter, along with his troops. That is why access to the upper quarter is allowed only to honorable citizens. Second, the town hall in the upper quarter is now the command post of the paladins. Only the paladins themselves and members of the militia have access to it. And third, whoever is accused of a crime must exonerate himself with the commander of the militia. Any questions?
My own opinion about that.
That's really not my problem.
How do I become a citizen of the town?
Only those with regular jobs will be considered citizens of the town. But don't think that you'll be admitted to Lord Hagen just because you're a citizen of the town. As a citizen, you have access to the upper quarter, nothing more. Only as a member of the militia will you have access to the town hall.
Be a problem.
Where can I find work?
You'll have to apply as an apprentice to one of the masters here in the lower part of the city. As soon as a master accepts you, you are a citizen of the town. However, the other masters must agree to it. That's the custom here in Corinus. If you were thinking about looking for work in the Harbor District, forget it.
That would be a problem.
The scum of the city live there. Don't even go there. You would regret it.
I'm not touching.
How do I get to the upper quarter?
Say, are you listening to me at all? You're not a citizen of this town. You can save yourself the trip. The guards won't let you in. The entire area behind the inner gate is off limits to you.
Nobody ever asked for mine.
How do I get accepted into the militia?
By express command of Lord Hagen, only citizens of the town will be admitted into the militia.
I see.
If you want to know more, speak to Lord Andre in the barracks.
What do I have to do to get armor like yours?
What? You aren't even a member of the militia! You're not even a citizen! How can you even think of being allowed to wear the armor of a paladin? Only a few militia soldiers, those who have performed extraordinary deeds, have been granted that honor so far. If you want to be a paladin, you have a long road ahead of you, my boy.
Where can I find the commander of the city guard?
Lord Andre can be found in the barracks at the other end of the city.
Like this forever.
And it's gonna get
Where can I
even
spend
worse.
the night here?
If you're looking for a place to sleep, go to the hotel directly across from the barracks. The paladins pay for the lodging of all travelers who come to the city. The traveling traders from the marketplace are also lodged there.
I've got to go.
If I hear one more time that you are telling people here about dragons, you will be in big trouble. Do I make myself clear?
You didn't get that from me.
And it's gonna get even worse.
Hey, you!
Hello, stranger. You must be hungry and thirsty. Perhaps I can interest you in my wares.
He had better shut up.
I was actually on my way to see the paladins.
There's little chance of that. Since the paladins made themselves at home in the upper end of town, hardly anyone gets in there anymore.
I've heard a thing or two.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
Me? Nah, I don't have much say here myself. There are a few people in the lower city who have enough influence to get you past the guards.
It's gonna get even worse.
Mateo, my boss, is one of them. Maybe you should talk to him.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Where can I find Mateo?
You're standing right outside his shop. Just go on in. He's practically always there.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
What about the other influential citizens?
That's
The
enough.
merchants and master craftsmen here on the main street are the most important figures in the city. You should try to get accepted by one of them as an apprentice like me. Since I started working for Mateo, the people in the city treat me with respect.
Touching that.
I need some money, and I'm looking for work.
I've heard that Bosper has trouble with his suppliers. His shop is right over there. They say he pays pretty well.
What do you have to offer?
At the moment, I don't have much choice. The damned landowner doesn't deliver anymore. And what we get from the small farms isn't enough to meet the demands of the city.
Tell me more about the Peasants' Revolt.
It's quite simple. Onar, the fat landowner, won't pay any more taxes to the city. Imagine, we're at war with the orcs, and that fat slob wants everything for himself. Normally, the city guard would take firm measures in such cases, but now comes the best part. They say Onar has hired mercenaries to keep the troops from the city off his back. Mercenaries! The whole thing will end in a damn war, as if one war weren't enough.
What do you know about Onar's mercenaries?
I heard that most of them are former convicts from the mining colony. And their leader's supposed to have been a big shot with the king, a general or something, whom they put away as a traitor. These are terrible times.
Really? How interesting.
Show me your wares.
I knew that would be a problem.
That's not what I heard.
So why won't they listen to me?
Who says things like that?
I've heard a thing or two.
That's not what my husband thinks.
All that Innos created was destroyed by Beliar. Adanos be with you.
Who are you?
I am Vatras, a servant of Adanos, the guardian of the divine and earthly equilibrium. What can I do for you?
I want to make a donation to Adanos.
A donation to the Church of Adanos would alleviate a part of the sins which you may have committed, my son. How much can you give?
I haven't got anything to spare right now.
That is not a problem. You can act upon your good intentions later, my son.
Can you teach me something about magic?
Only the chosen of Innos and the chosen of Adanos are permitted to work rune magic. But common mortals can also work magic with the help of spell scrolls. I can show you how you can channel and expand your magic powers.
Tell me about the gods.
What exactly would you like to know?
Tell me about Beliar.
Beliar is the dark god of death, destruction, and all things unnatural. He is in eternal battle with Innos, but Adanos guards the balance between the two. Only a few humans follow the call of Beliar. However, he grants great strength to those who do.
Tell me about Adanos.
Adanos is the god of the center. He is the scales of justice and guardian of the balance between Innos and Beliar. He commands the power of change. His gift is the water in all the oceans, rivers, and lakes. His priests are the water mages, just as I am a servant and priest of Adanos.
Tell me about Innos.
Very well. Innos is the first and highest god. He created the sun and the world. He commands light and fire, his gifts to humanity. He is law and justice. His priests are the magicians of fire. The paladins are his warriors.
Welcome, my friend. Take a seat on my humble rocks. Take your time to enjoy a pipe.
Who are you?
My name is Abu Jin ibn Jadir ibn Omar Khalid bin Haji al-Sharidi. I am a seer and a prophet, an astrologer and a purveyor of tobacco.
What kind of tobacco do you offer?
My pipes are filled with spicy, refreshing apple tobacco. Help yourself whenever you want, son of adventure.
Do you have other tobacco as well?
I offer only the very best tobacco. This apple blend is a symphony from my homeland, the Southern Isles. But, of course, I'm always open to trying a different sort of tobacco. If somebody should succeed in producing a really good tobacco.
How's that done?
Start with my apple tobacco as a basis. and then try combining it with another ingredient. This is done at an alchemist's bench, provided you know the essentials of alchemy.
Where can I get apple tobacco?
I shall give you 2 portions. It is up to you, in your wisdom, to do with them whatever you want. If you crave more, then direct your steps toward Zuris, the master of potions. He produces this tobacco, and he sells it too.
Can you make me a prophecy?
My services are yours for a modest fee, oh father of generosity.
How much do you want?
For a paltry 25 coins. I shall risk a glance through time for you. But remember, the future is always uncertain. All I can do is glimpse some fragments of time.
Tell me about the future.
All right, seeker of knowledge. I shall now enter a state of trance. Are you ready? Orcs. They are guarding an entry, an old tunnel, the Valley of Mines. Men in shining armor. A magician. Your friend is with them. He is waiting for you. Fire! An attack! A mighty creature. The flames, many shall die. I'm sorry. The vision is over. There's nothing more I can see.
Can you make me another prophecy?
Oh, son of the mysterious future. It is not within my power to lift the veil of time. Only when time sends me another omen shall I be able to see for you again.
When will that be?
When the future has become present, and you have continued your journey.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted. The security measures for the protection of the upper quarter will be further strengthened. The guards on the gates are ordered to interpret the law in the strictest sense in order to prevent unauthorized entry.
Ah, customer, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for a room.
Ah, you're in the right place then.
One of the paladins told me that I could spend the night here for free.
Yes, yes. Just go up the stairs. We still have 1 or 2 beds free.
Why do the paladins pay for everything?
I don't know what that's all about either. For one thing, I think they want to get all the poor suckers off the streets so they don't make any mischief. And for another, they want to get on the good side of the traveling traders. Now that the farmers are rebelling, we have to rely on the traders for provisions. Besides, I think they want to improve the morale in the city a bit. Lord Andre has even arranged for free beer to be given out at the Gala Square.
Who's staying here at the moment?
Almost all of them are traveling traders from the market.
Aha!
Don't even think about messing with their stuff. I don't want any trouble here.
I have a few questions about the city. Where can I buy something around here?
The market is directly in front of the door. You should be able to find everything there. There are a few more shops and craftsmen on the other side of town. Most of them are near the other city gate. Also, there's a fishmonger in the harbor district. His shop is right at the harbor. He's easy to find.
Tell me about the town.
Corinus is one of the wealthiest cities within the kingdom, even if it doesn't look like it at the moment. But since the Orc War started, trade has almost come to a complete standstill. The king has requisitioned the entire merchant fleet for military service, which means that hardly any ships come into the harbor now. So, the supply of goods is very scarce now, and many citizens of the town are very worried. Nobody really knows what the future will bring. There's basically nothing we can do but wait and see what happens. It's not like we can change anything.
Hey! How's it going?
You're not from around here, are you? Never mind. Neither am I.
Where did you hang around before?
In the woods, hunting scavengers and wolves together with some hunters. But I gave it up. These are dangerous times. There's a lot of riffraff running around out there.
Where can I find the other hunters?
We had our camp outside near the tavern halfway to Onar's farm. But I don't know whether there's anyone left in the camp now.
Can you teach me something about hunting?
I can teach you how to sneak properly and how to handle a bow. If you want to learn how to skin an animal, go to Bosper. He's the one who taught me.
Teach me how to sneak around.
All right. So first, you have to make sure that you shift your weight properly. To achieve that, bend your knees and always put your foot down heel first. Make sure that you always keep your weight on the foot you're standing on until you've got your other foot securely placed. Most creatures you can't sneak up on unless they're sleeping. The beasts just smell you. So always pay close attention when you're out there.
Why don't we go hunting together?
With two, it isn't so dangerous, that's true. Do you know anything about hunting then? I mean, do you know how to skin an animal?
No.
Then it wouldn't be worth it. Come back when you learn something.
I want to be able to handle a bow better.
Okay then, let's see if I can teach you anything.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted. By reason of the imminent danger of an attack
What are you
by
doing
orcs,
here?
each
I'm a
inhabitant
novice
of the
from the
city
monastery.
is to prepare
I
himself
run errands
accordingly.
for the magicians
Everyone is to
and
begin
also the
training in the
paladins.
skills of combat
I have provided the
immediately,
3
and to arm
innkeepers in the
himself
city with wine
appropriately.
from the monastery.
Who are the 3 innkeepers?
One of them is the good man here behind the bar. Then there is Kerrigan, who has his tavern on the Temple Square, and Cardiff, the owner of the tavern in the Harbor District.
What can you tell me about the monastery?
We novices seek enlightenment in prayer to Innos and learn the principles of faith from the magicians. We serve them as we serve Innos and prepare ourselves for the union with the fire.
Well, take me to the monastery.
Forget it. Do you know how many creatures I had to evade on the way? When I think of all those bloodflies, wolves, and goblins, I'm glad that I don't have to leave here anymore. Besides, you can't enter the monastery anyway.
Why not?
Entrance is only permitted to magicians, paladins, and novices.
How can I become a novice?
If a man feels the deep desire...
Hey, just tell me what the conditions are.
You need the offerings, a sheep and 1,000 gold pieces.
How am I supposed to get that much gold?
Since you obviously don't know anyone who would pay that for you, you'll simply have to go to work.
Where can I find a sheep?
From the farmers, of course. But you won't get one for nothing.
Hey!
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus. By the explicit order of the martial law is in all civilian judges are to hand over their duties to the royal paladins if the Honorable Lord Andre is every inhabitant of...
Hey, come closer. Take a break and have a sip of cool beer. Lord Andre is springing for a few barrels of free beer.
Hey, you! Hey, what's up?
As long as the paladins don't have any new assignments for me, I can have myself a couple of beers here. What more could you ask?
You're working for the paladins?
Well, yeah, I report to them on the situation in the city. At the moment, everything is quiet.
How are things with the orcs?
No reason to worry. We in the city guard and the paladins have everything under control. Go home and let us do our work. We're watching over the town and its citizens. Oh.
Would you like another beer?
There's nothing better than a cool ale.
You were about to say something about the orcs.
Oh, yeah, right. The orcs are absolutely no threat to the city. They're stuck in the Valley of Mines, and the pass is held by the paladins. Not even a meat bug could get through there.
Would you like another beer?
Well, I won't say no to a decent pint.
They've even spotted an orc outside of town.
Yeah, right. The dangerous orc outside the city. A real monster of an orc. Well, he's bound to attack the city soon. Listen, we'll kick that fat orc in his fat ass if he comes too close to the city. Got it?
I see. Would you like another beer?
A tasty bitter ale is absolutely the best. You know, you don't often meet someone who'll treat you to a beer. You're all right.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted.
Hey, you're new in town, huh?
Yes, and what about you?
I've come from the mainland, and now I'm hanging around here. I'm almost out of gold, so all I can do now is join the militia, I guess. But I don't want to do that. I won't be slaughtered by those orcs on the king's behalf.
It's a bad business.
What can you tell me about the militia?
One of the paladins has taken command. A certain Lord Andre. He's trying to mobilize half the city in case the orcs attack. But you need to be a citizen of the town in order to be admitted. As far as I know, if you're not a citizen, you can train anyway, but you won't be officially admitted.
What else can you tell me about Lord Andre?
He has taken over the position of judge as well. If you cause any trouble in this town, you're gonna have to answer to him. I was once in a brawl with a citizen. He went crying to Lord Andre and ratted me out. That little matter cost me 50 gold pieces. I was lucky that it happened at night, or others would have witnessed it. The more people complain about you in this town, the higher your penalty will be.
Who did you fight with?
With a fellow named Valentino. He often hangs out in the tavern near the temple. I'm not usually a violent person, but that guy needed his face rearranged in the worst way.
Has anything exciting happened?
You could say that. They robbed Bosper the bowmaker. What a brazen thing to do, I tell you. The fellow just ambled into the shop in broad daylight and grabbed himself a bow, and Bosper right after him, hollering, "Stop right there, you rogue!" But the thief was too fast.
Has anything exciting?
Oh.
But Enos beheld what Beliar had done, and he also bestrode the land and chose the human.
Enos be with you, stranger. What brings you to me?
I've got an important message for Lord Hagen.
Well, you stand before one of his men. What is this about?
It's about a sacred artifact, the Eye of Innos.
The Eye of Innos. I have never heard of it, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. If there truly is an artifact of this name, only the highest members of our order would know anything about it. In any case.
That's why I have to talk to Lord Hagen himself.
Lord Hagen receives only paladins, or those who are in the service to paladins. It is beneath his dignity to waste his time with members of the common folk.
I want to take up service with the paladins.
Good. I can well use every able man here, no matter what his reasons for joining us. If you place yourself in the service of the paladins, I shall help you get an audience with Lord Hagen. However, I have my orders only to accept citizens of the town into the militia. My commander is afraid that spies or saboteurs could sneak in. He wants to limit the risk this way. Therefore, you must first be a citizen of the town. Whether this rule makes sense or not is disputable, but orders are orders.
Is there a faster way to join you?
You're really serious about this, aren't you? Good. Listen, I have a problem. If you solve it for me, I shall see to it that you are accepted into the militia. But the most important thing is, you must not breathe a word of it to anyone.
What's your problem?
Recently, there have been a number of thefts in the city. Thus far, we have not been able to capture anyone. The thieves are simply too skillful. The scum know their business. I'm sure that we're dealing with an organized gang. It would not amaze me if there were a thieves' guild in Corinus. Find the leaders of the gang and hunt them down. Then I shall see to it that you are accepted into the militia, regardless of whether or not you are a citizen. But you must say nothing about our agreement.
Where should I start looking for the thieves?
If I knew that, I'd go there myself. I can only tell you this much. We recently turned the entire harbor district upside down and found nothing. Absolutely nothing. The people there are not very talkative, particularly if you wear the armor of a paladin. But you are an outsider. They will not distrust you so quickly. You could ask around the harbor first, but be careful. If the people there realize that you are working for the paladins, you will learn nothing.
Why are you paladins in town?
The goals of our mission are secret. I can only tell you that there is no danger for the citizens of the town. You need not worry.
What should I do once I've found one of the thieves?
If it's a matter of a lackey, a henchman, or some small fry, it would be best if you avoid a fight. You should rather come to me and report. I shall then see to it that the fellow winds up behind bars. The city guard could intervene in an open battle, and you would not have the opportunity of explaining to them what is going on. Furthermore, there is a bounty for every rotten apple you put behind bars. However, if you locate the leader's hideout, well, then you probably won't be able to avoid a fight.
What should I expect with the militia?
Let me make one thing clear. To be a soldier of the militia means much more than strolling through the city in a uniform. It is a dirty and even bloody job. Once you are one of us, a great deal of work will be waiting for you. But it is worth it. Besides the pay, you might someday have the chance of becoming a holy warrior of Innos.
Hey, you! How's your duty?
Oh, these boys swing their swords like farmers. But when I'm done with them, every single one of them will be a tough, hard bastard.
I want to join the militia.
So, are you a citizen of the town?
No.
Then Lord Andre won't take you. Sure, you can talk to him, but I don't think he'll make an exception for you.
What's it like with the militia?
Lord Andre is our commander now. The militia used to report to the governor. He had no idea what we do here. But Lord Andre knows what he's doing. He takes good care of the men. Everyone who starts here gets some decent armor and a good weapon. And there are bonuses if you've done a good job. He pays a bounty for every criminal captured.
Can you also train me in sword fighting?
Lord Andre has ordered that we train everyone who is in a position to defend the city. But that's only true for combat training. All other kinds of training are reserved for the militia. Can you at least halfway handle a weapon?
I think so.
All right, you can start when you're ready.
What are the advantages of one- or two-handed weapons?
Quite simple. With a one-handed weapon, you're faster. That can be a considerable advantage in battle. Two-handed weapons are more ponderous. You have to fight with foresight, but you can do a lot more damage when you're hit.
Where should I start, with one-handed or two-handed weapons?
That's entirely up to you. If you specialize in only one type of weapon, you automatically learn the other at the same time. If, for instance, you're good at fighting with one-handed swords, but still a beginner with two-handed weapons, your two-handed skills will go up as well whenever you train with a one-hander. In that case, the training is more exhausting than if you train with both types of weapons. Just start and you'll soon see what I'm talking about.
Due to the general situation, the forest and wilderness near the city are to be avoided for your own protection. Furthermore, any contact with...
Hey, you, wait. You look familiar to me.
What do you want?
I've seen your face before somewhere, right? Here, we found this picture on some bandits we picked up a few days ago. It looks a lot like you. Apparently, those guys were looking for you.
Gee, I'd never have thought of that myself.
Very funny. What did those guys want from you?
Ask them yourself. You've got them safely locked up, haven't you?
No, they're dead.
I guess we'll never know then.
If you're in some kind of trouble, go talk to Lord Andre. Maybe he can help you. You'll find him in the barracks.
What do you know about the bandits?
They've all come from that blasted mining colony. But there are several splinter groups. Some are holed up in the mountains, and others have joined up with Ona, the landowner. But it's the bandits outside of town who cause the most problems. They're the reason that none of the merchants venture beyond the city gates now.
Where did the bandits who had my wanted poster come from?
We picked them up near the landowner's place, but they didn't look like Onar's people. I think they're part of a smaller group which is holed up in the mountains near Onar's farm. But if you intend to go there, let me warn you, those cutthroats make short work of everyone.
I'll remember that.
have gone about it differently.
Welcome to my shop, stranger. I am Basper. I craft bows and trade in furs. What brings you to Corinus?
I need to get into the upper quarter.
Where the paladins are? Forget it. You need to be a respected citizen here, or at least hold a decent job. As a stranger, you stand no chance of getting in.
I've heard that someone stole from you.
Who told you that? Probably Bartok, huh? Didn't he have anything better to tell you? Oh, well. Let me tell you, if I get hold of this bastard, he can say his prayers. I left the shop for only a moment. When I came back, I could only just see him leave, with my bow on his shoulder. I called the guards right away, but the lowlife ran towards the harbor, and they lost him there. I lit a bonfire under their asses then, and they searched the entire harbor district, but they didn't find a thing. Those bumbling lackeys. I bet my bow is still in town somewhere. I informed the guards on both city gates, and they haven't seen anyone leave with my bow. When I get my hands on that bastard.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. The last one just gave up his job 2 days ago. Do you know anything about hunting then?
Well,
I could teach you how to skin animals. I'll pay you well for every skin you bring me.
what if I want to sign on with one of the other masters?
Balderdash. Harrod and Matteo already have apprentices. Constantino the alchemist is a loner, and he hasn't taken an apprentice in years. And as for Thorben, everyone knows he's dead broke. He probably couldn't even pay you. I, on the other hand, am in urgent need of an apprentice, and I pay well too. But no matter where you want to sign on, you need the approval of all other masters from the lower part of town.
Why did your apprentice give up his job?
All he said was that it had become too dangerous out there. If you're really interested, then you can ask him yourself. His name is Bartok. He's probably hanging out near Corrigan's Tavern. Go through the underpass from the smithy, then you're headed straight for it.
I want to start as your apprentice.
Before I take you on, I need to know, of course, whether you're any good at all.
What do you want me to do for you?
I will teach you how to skin an animal, and you will bring me, let's say, 6 wolf skins. Then I'll know that you have learned your trade. If it doesn't take you forever, and if the skins are in acceptable condition, I will take you on if you like. Or, you can start with one of the other masters, if that's what you really want.
Teach me how to skin animals.
Right. Listen, it's quite easy, really. You take a sharp blade and cut open the animal's belly. Then make a few small incisions on the inside of the legs, and you can peel off the skin. Bring me the wolf skins and we shall see.
It's a bad business.
That was quite obvious.
In his wisdom, did so.
You didn't get that from me.
Will it ever change? But no, he insisted he knew better.
Someone's gonna do it.
What can I do for you?
What are you selling?
I can offer you everything you need to survive in the wild. Weapons, torches, provisions, even armor. I still have a special piece in stock. Double hardened armor of snapper leather, still unused. Interested?
What do you know about paladins?
Since these bastards have come to the city, I've had nothing but trouble. The last time I was headed for the upper end of town, the guards flat out stopped me and asked me what was my business there.
And?
Of course they let me in. I had my shop in the city when most of those pompous asses were still chasing pigs with wooden swords. And yesterday, the bastards came and confiscated half of my goods.
The paladins seized your goods?
Everything I had stored in the backyard. They simply posted a guard in front of the entrance to the yard. If I'm lucky, they won't take everything. At least they might leave the armor here.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
What? What are you going to do there?
I've got an important message.
Well, well. Have you tried getting past the guards?
I don't see why I should even try.
You're probably right. I don't know how important your message is, and it's none of my business. But even if you told them that a ship full of orcs just anchored in the harbor, they'd send you away, because they have their orders.
So can you help me get into the upper quarter?
It seems to be really important to you. The question is, how important is it to you?
What are you getting at?
I can help you. After all, I'm one of the most influential people here, but it'll cost you.
What are you asking for your help?
100 gold pieces.
That's a whole damn lot.
Take it easy. It isn't your gold I have in mind.
But
in principle, it's my gold. Gritta, the carpenter's niece, hasn't paid what she owes me in ages. But the little brat is constantly running around in new clothes. That means she has the money. I'd like to beat it out of her. But Master Thorben, the carpenter, is also a very influential man. Get me the money and I'll help you.
Where can I find this Gritta?
Like I said, she's the carpenter's niece. His house is down the street, the last house on the right before the smithy.
How exactly can you help me?
Quite simple. I'll use my influence to see to it that one of the master craftsmen here takes you on as an apprentice. As such, you'll practically be a citizen of the city and can enter the upper quarter. Besides which, you'll earn something while you're at it.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
One thing at a time. First fulfill your part of the deal and bring me the gold.
Where could I sign on as an apprentice then?
Basically, with any master here on the main street. That would be Harrod the smith, Bospa the bowmaker, Thorben the carpenter, or Constantino the alchemist. One of them is bound to take you on. But it's important that the other masters agree. That's always been the custom here in Corinus.
Why don't you take me on as an apprentice?
I would, but the other masters wouldn't agree. I just recently took on another apprentice.
Is there another way to get into the upper quarter?
Perhaps. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
How do I get the approval of the other masters?
You just have to convince them. Go and talk to them. But if more than one of them is against you, you don't stand a chance, so behave yourself.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
One thing at a time. First fulfill your part of the deal and bring me the gold.
I'm not telling you anything new.
Hey, fresh face. You're not from Corinus, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere, no work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
What do you know about the paladins?
Not much. They arrived by ship 2 weeks ago from the mainland. Since then, they have withdrawn to the upper end of town. Nobody here really knows exactly why they have come. Many are afraid of an attack by the orcs. I suppose, however, that they are here to quell the farmers' rebellion.
Do you know anything about the peasants' rebellion?
Rumor has it that Onar, the landowner, has hired mercenaries to keep the king's troops from breathing down his neck. He was probably tired of having to throw his harvest along with his livestock at paladins and militia. All we notice of this in town is that the food prices keep rising. Onar's farm lies far to the east of here. We wouldn't know if there's any fighting going on there. And if you want to know more, ask the merchants in the marketplace. They get around the island more than I do.
I've come about Gritta.
My niece? What's your business with her? This isn't about money, is it?
She owes 100 gold pieces to the merchant Mateo.
Tell me this isn't true. Ever since that little piece of work moved in with me, I've had nothing but trouble. She's in debt with practically every single merchant in town. I had to borrow 200 gold pieces from Lamar, the moneylender, just to settle her debts. And now this. Gritta should be in the house. Go ahead, ask her. But I tell you this, she doesn't have a single gold piece.
We shall see. I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade. And I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
What if I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the other masters here?
All right, I shall give you my approval. But you had better get yourself the blessing of the gods first. Say, are you a man of faith?
Yes, a most humble servant, Master Thorben.
Then go to Vatras, the priest of Adanos, and have him give you his blessing. He will tell you where you can find a priest of Innos. You should get his blessing, too. Once you have received the blessing of the gods, I shall vote for you.
But the human and the beast waged war upon the land.
I'm asking your blessing.
Why should I give you my blessing, stranger?
I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the masters in the lower part of town.
I may give you my blessing, stranger, but I know nothing about you. Tell me about yourself.
What do you want to know?
Well, you could tell me where you come from and why you have come to the city.
I carry an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
What is this message?
A large army is gathering as we talk, led by dragons and determined to conquer the country.
Dragons? You speak of beings which until now have only been mentioned in legends. How do you know this?
Zardas, the magician, told me. He sent me to warn the Paladins.
The necromancer? So he lives, and he sent you. Who are you really?
I'm an adventurer from down south. And will you give me your blessing now?
Good. Let us summarize. You are an adventurer from down south, who has been told by Zardas, the necromancer, that dragons have come to conquer the country, and you have come to report this to the Paladins. I think there's something you're not telling me. If you're worried I might pass on what you tell me, then let me reassure you. I have sworn to keep all secrets I am entrusted with to myself.
And what about all the people here?
They only understand half of what I preach to them, so don't fret. Let's start over at the beginning. What's that message?
A large army is gathering as we...
If that isn't...
Zarda...
I know...
I'm a former convict from the penal colony of Corinus. And will you give me your blessing now?
Good. Let us summarize. You are a former prisoner who has been told by Zardas the necromancer that dragons have come to conquer the country. And you have come to report this to the paladins. That all sounds rather fantastic, but I cannot perceive that you are lying to me. Therefore, I must assume that your motives are honorable. Go with the blessing of Adanos, my son.
Where can I find a priest of Innos?
The best thing would be to look around the marketplace. You will find an emissary of the monastery there.
I am Hacker, the weapons dealer. Every man should carry a weapon these days, especially when venturing outside of the city walls.
Tell me more about the area around the city.
It's gotten too dangerous out there, because of the bandits for one thing, and also on account of wild beasts. Even the animals don't seem to get enough to eat in these crappy times. They're venturing closer to the city all the time.
Do you know anything about the paladins?
Yes. Those guys are ruining my business. All you can buy in this entire town is a short sword at most. They've helped themselves to anything that's longer than 1.5 feet. In return, I now get to live in the hotel free of charge.
Really?
Where do you get your weapons from?
Harad the smith has been my supplier up to now. Now all he does is make stuff for the paladins. He works for those guys day and night like a madman, without pay. He thinks it's his duty. All I can offer you now is my remaining stock.
What do you know about the bandits?
What do I know about them? They robbed me on my way to the city, and I'm not the only one. They've been up to their tricks for quite a while. The militia tried to track them down, but without any success.
Do you know who in the militia took part in the search?
The fellow's name is Pablo. He and a few others went looking for the bandits, but they didn't find them.
Do you know where I can find Pablo?
He patrols around the city. You'll find him either at the Temple Square or in the lower part of town.
That's what I've always said.
Where did they hold you up?
Near Akhil's farm. Just go out of the city gate from here. Follow the road to the right. After a while, you'll get to a few steps. The bastards came from there.
I don't believe that.
I bet they have their hideout back there in the woods.
I'll deal with it.
What? You want to take on the bandits? By yourself? You're quite a good fighter, huh?
How much is the matter worth to you?
That's a dangerous business. Well, it's all right with me. I'll pay you 100 gold pieces if you defeat the bandits.
What can I do for you? Are you seeking spiritual comfort? Do you want to direct a prayer to our Lord Innos, or donate some gold for his church?
I've come to get your blessing.
That's good. That's good. Then you will probably want to donate gold to the Holy Church of Innos, won't you?
Actually, I wanted your blessing so I can sign on as an apprentice in the lower part of town.
But my son, without a modest donation to the church, it is impossible for me to bless you. How else can I be certain of your good intentions toward the Holy Church of Innos?
So, how much does a donation usually run to here?
Well, that depends on what percentage you want to give, son. You have more than 100 gold pieces. The Lord says, give if you have. The church accepts your generous donation. I bless you in the name of Innos, for he is light and righteousness.
Where do you come from?
I come from the monastery of the magicians, which lies in the mountains. We accept everyone there who is pure of heart and feels the desire to serve our almighty Lord Innos.
Tell me more about the monastery.
We instruct our students in all forms of magic, but the arts of the magicians of fire consist of more than these alone. We are also well versed in the art of alchemy and in the creation of powerful runes. We also make excellent wine.
I need to talk to the paladins. Can you help me get to them?
Well, you need access to the upper end of town. However, this is allowed only to citizens and the city guard. And of course, to us, magicians of fire.
How can I become a fire magician?
You must join our order as a novice. When you have served for a time, perhaps you will be accepted into the ranks of the magicians. However, the path to acceptance is long and full of work and study.
What are you doing in town?
I have discussions with the paladins and support the citizens with my advice and with helpful words. Particularly in these difficult times, it is our duty to be there for the people and to help the poor.
What do you... Tell me about Innos.
Innos, our almighty Lord, is the light and the fire. He chooses humans to be his tool, giving them magic and laws. We act in his name. We administer justice according to his will and preach his word.
How's business?
When the Paladins came, I first thought that it was a good business opportunity, but they let Herod make their weapons, and neither Hakon nor I make even one gold piece off them. Moreover, the farmers no longer supply us with food, and all the prices have gone up. It's only a small consolation that the Paladins are paying my hotel bill.
What's the problem with the farmers?
They refuse to deliver their goods. Now that the ships no longer come in, the city depends entirely on the supplies provided by the farmers, of course. And Onar, the largest farmer, has hired mercenaries to protect his farm from the city guards. Otherwise, they'd simply snatch the goods for themselves. But the mercenaries don't just guard Onar's farm. They come as far as the small farms outside of town to intimidate the farmers. I saw them as I was passing Akil's farm. I wouldn't like to be in his shoes now.
Where will I find Akil's farm?
If you go out of the east gate here and follow the road to the right, you'll come to a stairway. It leads up to Akil's farm. But I wouldn't go there now. The mercenaries are certainly still there.
What do you know about the bandits who robbed Hakon the merchant?
Oh, that matter. Don't remind me. As far as we know, they're responsible for a lot of the attacks on merchants. Those rats have crawled into their holes and don't dare come out again. Once we were able to track them down and follow them, but we broke off pursuit in the woods outside the city. There's too many beasts roaming around there. It's much too dangerous. But there's one more thing. A few of the stolen goods have shown up in Corinus.
This means that they know how they can smuggle the wares into town and sell them.
Yeah, we suspect they have a fence in the city, but we haven't been able to catch the guy yet. If you find out anything about the business, remember Lord Andre has posted a bounty for the fence.
Hear ye, inhabitants of might undo the work of Beliar. And Beliar spoke.
How about your approval, Master?
Has Vatras given you his blessing?
Yes.
And did you also get the blessing of a priest of Innos?
Yes, I did.
Then you shall have my blessing as well. No matter what path you decide to take pride in doing a good job, my boy.
But the human, the beast, waged war upon the land of Adonis. The wrath.
Hey,
What do you want, stranger? If you've come to beg, I must disappoint you. I am a poor widow. My name is Greta. Ever since my husband died, I have been running the household for my uncle Thorabin.
Mateo sent me. You still owe him some gold.
He wants his money? What for? The goods he delivered were flawed, bad fabric, and bad seams. And did you look at the colors? Those are not the colors I ordered. That's fraud, that is. Let me tell you, back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband.
Cut it out. Where's the gold?
But I don't have the gold. I'm only a poor widow.
I'm gonna pay the sum for you.
You would do that for me? Oh, I knew you weren't a greedy bastard like that Mateo.
Yeah, never mind.
Come back once you've taken care of that. I want to show you my gratitude.
Here's your 100 gold pieces.
You want to pay for her? I'd have preferred it if you'd squeezed it out of her. Still, 100 gold pieces is 100 gold pieces. You've held up your part of the deal.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
Don't worry. I'll keep my part of the bargain. The other masters will only hear the best about you from me.
Hey!
It was very noble of you to pay for me. I want to show you my gratitude. Here's a bottle of wine which my husband, may Innos rest his soul, brought back from the southern islands. Also, I'm going to spread the news around. At last there's somebody in town whose virtue...
Yeah, never mind. Hey! So, you know a lot about locks.
What good is a fine chest without a fine lock? I make my own locks. That way, I can at least be sure I haven't built my chest that sturdy for nothing. A poorly made lock is easy to break, and there are plenty of thieves about in Corinus, especially lately.
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
You have paid Grita's debt with Mateo. You seem to be a decent fellow. I shall teach you what you want to know. However, I cannot do it for free. I still have a mountain of debts, and I need the money.
How much do you charge?
200 gold pieces.
Maybe later.
Gave unto him a portion of his divine power, so that he might undo the work of Beliar. And Beliar spoke to another creature.
Hey, you! Show me your wares.
Go away, don't tell me that.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
Everybody knows by now. He can't keep anything to himself.
We can only wait and see.
You don't say.
Show me your wares.
Where did you pick that up then?
Hey, you! Can you... How...
So why won't they listen to me?
Fine, here are 200 gold pieces.
This money will really help me. We can start as soon as you're ready.
Teach me how to pick a lock.
All you need is a lockpick. If you move it carefully left and right in the lock, you can unbolt the mechanism. But if you move it too much or too fast in the wrong direction, it will snap right off. The more adept you become, the fewer lockpicks you are going to need. That's all there is to it, really. Just like you said.
If he doesn't see that, I can't help him.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
Don't tell this to anyone. Someone's gonna do the work.
I won't tell her a thing from now on.
Who says things like that?
These are bad times.
These are bad times.
And the sea released the land, and there arose all creatures, trees as well as animals, wolves as well as...
Hey, you!
What do you want? Peck isn't here, so you can't get anything. Come back later.
I want to get stronger.
Of course you do. But so long as you aren't one of us, or a paladin, I won't help you.
Guard! Alarm!
There, where Adanos stood, was a place in which Enos...
What are you up to? What's all this creeping about? What are you up to? What's all this creeping about?
Guards!
Alarm! Keep your fingers to yourself
Never
from
try
now
to steal
on.
from me again.
Hey, you!
What led you into this poor area? What are you looking for here?
I'm just looking around a bit.
Ha! Then you better not be caught looking around. It would seem that we have a few thieves in the city who would steal stuff from the rich people. The city guard recently turned the harbor district upside down, but they didn't find anything.
What do you know about the thieves?
Nothing, but all the citizens are scared and have become distrustful, particularly towards strangers. Don't get caught in strange houses. No one takes kindly to that. Yeah, you gotta protect yourself against thieves. A sturdy cudgel works best.
Can you teach me anything?
I'm forging a few fittings and nails and repairing iron parts. But I don't know enough about forging weapons to be able to instruct you. If you want to learn that, go see Harad. He sure knows how to forge weapons. But if you want to train your muscles a bit, I can help you with that.
How much do you charge for the training?
50 gold pieces, and I'll help you to become stronger.
I want to train with you.
Good. We can get started as soon as you are ready.
I want to become stronger.
And the sea released the land, and there arose all creatures, trees as well as animals, wolves as well as sheep, and last of all arose the human.
That's what I've always said.
These are bad times.
Really, how interesting.
I won't tell her a thing from now on.
Filthy thief, just you wait! Guards!